bitch, just go for it. And I say that B word with the utmost endearment, but let's keep it a buck 50. Let's keep it a bean. That's what you came here to hear. Like, you've probably been playing games with yourself. There's something that you've been wanting to do, but you're just not doing it. Maybe there's something that's been calling to you, but for some reason you just can't get started. And maybe you've been looking, you've been searching, and you probably saw this title and you're like, let's see what this heifer has to say. But I just want to say, just get started. Just go for it. Forget about the what ifs. Worry about the what ifs when they come, if they ever come. Worry about the obstacles when they come. And I'm not going to say what if to the obstacles, because the obstacles will come. The troubles will come. But you can handle them when they get there. Just get started. And I say this from like such a personal place. And I feel like as I'm saying this, I'm low-key talking to myself. But like, I've been in this space where I've just been like so stuck in the mud, and like I've had to kind of just drag myself through that mud and past that starting line. And it's crazy too, because I came from a space where like I was just going after a lot of things. Like, I love to try new things. I love to go after things. I love to do things. But I feel like once I kind of got into my early 20s, I came across this point where like I was just like so paralyzed by like so much anxiety and so much that like I couldn't do anything. Like, I was just so stuck. And I feel like it came from a place where I'm such a dreamer. Like, I'm a big dreamer. Like, when I see things, like when I envision things, I see it to the end. I see it for exactly what I want it to be, and I see it so crystal clear. And then on top of that, I think I have like an anxious tendency. I think I have like a bit of anxiety. And when they talk about depression, they say depression is like when you're stuck in the past, and then anxiety is when you're stuck in the future. And like I have this kind of like foresight, and I'm having this like clear vision, and then I feel like I don't have the skill sets, or I'm not good enough to do it. I don't have the resources, etc., to get me where I want to be, to do it to this extent where I'm envisioning it, that I don't do anything at all. And I feel like that's the worst thing to do, is nothing at all, to just do nothing and not put anything out there. I feel like that was a bigger betrayal to myself. And I felt like I just had to get out of that space. And I think over time, I like practiced, and I just kind of like did a lot of work within myself, not even just related to kind of figuring out what's going on and figuring out like what's stopping me from doing the things that I used to love, but just like overall as my being in general. And I think I finally kind of getting to the other side where it's just fresh again, and like I want to go after things, I want to try new things, and like the world is my oyster, like it's mine, let me go after it. So I just kind of wanted to share these thoughts and just share my experience in case somebody else is going through like the similar thing, that maybe like my experience could kind of give them ideas, help them in a certain type of way. Like I was saying, like since I came from this vision of like being this big dreamer and then having these like foresight tendencies, it was just like crippling me not to do anything. But I feel like something that kind of helped me a lot is kind of, I think, breaking down like certain types of constructs that were starting to rise as I got older. I feel like when you're younger, you just have this vim to you, like the world and like the realities of the world, etc., haven't started hitting you yet. You're just so fresh and new. Like, let me know, like if you're a little bit older, and some people might consider me young, but like if you're a little bit older, I can tell somebody who's like 18, 19, maybe 20, I can see it, because there's this energy, there's this vim, there's this confidence. And I feel like as you get older, you have like more societal constructs and like responsibilities that might start weighing in and tagging in on you. But I feel like I'm saying this for two things. One, if you're young, go after things, and go after things hard, because you have this energy, this vim. Get started now and compound that work, compound that energy into the future. So when you're older, you might not have those kind of societal constructs weighing on you, because you're so secure, you're so confident in yourself, because you've been working and doing things for so long. But two, if you're older, like I said, like you have to start breaking down some of those constructs, and you have to start really focusing on yourself, like forgetting the outside, forgetting what somebody thinks you should be doing at a certain age, forgetting what, your parents think you should get married, or like you need to do this, etc., etc., etc. Just worry about like what you really want to get out of life, and start working on it and start doing it. And also nurture like your inner child. I feel like a lot of times when we get older, people lose that inner child. People just let it go. They aren't curious anymore. They aren't inquisitive anymore. They don't want to learn anymore. Like, nurture that inner child and keep being curious, keep trying, and keep feeling. Like, when we're kids, like, we have nothing to fear besides nothing. Like, we don't learn that fire is hot till we try and we figure it out. So like, you have to keep that energy, like, let me try and let me figure it out. And I feel like when I was kind of learning and understanding, something that kind of like pushed me forward to begin doing again, to begin going after things and to begin trying. I saw this TikTok, and it's so funny, like we see the randomest things when we need them, but I saw this TikTok and they're pretty much saying how like there's like a curiosity phase, there's a learning phase, and then there's the doing phase. And they were pretty much saying how like a lot of people get stuck in that learning phase. And I feel like I was there too, where like you feel like you don't know enough, you're not good enough to get out those results. Like maybe like you might not have the tools and the resources, etc., to get those results. But I feel like you need to do to learn. Like you can't get stuck in that learning phase, because doing teaches you the most. Like when we're in school, when we're like, let's say we're in like high school chemistry, we do labs. Doctors, they do practicals, like pharmacists, etc. They do practicals, because like you have to learn by doing. So you can't get stuck in that learning phase. You just have to do, even if it's not perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect to start out. You don't need the latest gizmos and gadgets. You don't need the latest gear. Like I remember, like for me, I think I have this like love-hate relationship with music, because like at this maybe within myself, I had all these like preconceived connotations about who I was as an artist, where my skill sets, where my talents were, like the gear that I needed to have like a specific sound, etc. And I realized that like, no, like I don't need this $1,000 plugin to like be great. Music at its core, all I need is an instrument, which could be my voice, and then something to record. So I can literally put my music out there by just singing and recording it from like a random Motorola flip phone and posting it, and that will be a form of me putting my art out there. So I kind of realized that like I don't need the latest gear, I don't need to be perfect, I don't need to do it perfectly. Even if it's like the most horrible thing ever, I can still grow. That's why me personally, I will never like scoff or laugh at somebody or tell somebody to like never do what they're doing again, like to just stop and quit, because like you can practice to become a master. Like they say, what is it like? Talent only gets you so far. Like you need talent and work ethic. And yes, there are prodigies out there that like talent go crazy, but like for some people they're so talented, but they never put in that effort. They never have that drive. Somebody who is grinding and working hard and may not have that talent as much, they'll so far surpass somebody who has that like innate talent. So like, don't hold yourself back thinking that you need to be perfect. Just push forward, and I think over time you'll find this balance, and then you maybe come across your perfection if you ever come across that perfection. Because at the end of the day, nothing is perfect. But I just had to say, and another thing I think a big thing that kind of like helped me start doing again and start going after things and getting started is building trust. And I think I mentioned this in like my like a recent video that I did, like my journey for like solo traveling. I was explaining how like solo traveling kind of like helped build a lot of confidence within me. And I feel like as you start doing things, you're going to start building this confidence, and you're going to start building this trust, and you'll build this trust in yourself where you start to understand that like even if problems and obstacles arise, you have this trust that you can get it done. Like problems happen, but alongside those problems, there are solutions, and you have what it takes to find those solutions. So I think you really don't build that trust unless you're going after things, unless you're trying and you're failing, because I think everything is like super iterative. Like the most beautiful things and design in general and just doing in general is like super iterative. I saw like I was doing something for work, and I was like reading something, and I think it might have been like Google or something like that, but they're pretty much saying like they fail fast. Like you need to fail fast so you can get to that next step and learn that lesson. Fail fast so you can acquire as many lessons as possible, because that is what really teaches us, are those failures. So everything is just iterative. Know that everything doesn't have to be 100% solid. The next go around, it can be a hit more perfect. It can be a hit percentage more crisp, more clean. So just be iterative and just understand that like life is a marathon, not a sprint, and like it's gonna be a constant evolution. Like your creativity and whatever like you're trying to accomplish and do, it's gonna be a process. So just start and just go for it. Go for it looking popped and busted. Go for it with a rinky-dink outfit. Go for it with your hair looking crazy. Go for it with your cut not lined up. Just go for it. And like that's just what I wanted to say for today. I feel like I saw this video where it was like creative people, they kind of like stay in solitude a lot, because that's where they really fuel that creativity. That's where they kind of put their heads down and get to work. But at the same time, creative people keep things very internalized. And I think I do keep things so to the chest and internalized, as crazy as that might sound, because I think I come off like as an open person. I am pretty like an open, receptive person, but I am to myself a lot. Like I keep things to my chest a lot. And I realize like there's so many things on my mind that I feel like I should start vocalizing them outside of me, not just thinking in my head. Like I start saying those things out loud because, I think people might be going through similar things, and I just want to put it out there and to just kind of like help build some type of community and just share the things I've gone through and to see if like somebody else can use that information. Because I think I'm the type of person where like, if I can learn from somebody else's doing, I will. Like, I don't have to go through like hell and back if somebody else has gone through hell and back and they have a story to tell me and they have a lesson to share with me. So I just want to share the things that I've learned out loud. And yeah, this is a little bit of me kind of like just going for it because like I said, like I've been wanting to do like this type of format of just kind of like sitting down and chatting and just expressing my thoughts on like in general on my channel or just in general. And I never did. So I've been starting to do that a little bit more, and yeah, I hope this could be helpful. I don't know. See y'all another time. Bye.